Okay, the last lecture for section ExcelC, we need to talk about renaming, moving, and checking spelling in worksheets. So to rename and move a worksheet, it's real simple. By default, Excel starts a workbook initially with 3 worksheets, sheet 1, sheet 2, and sheet 3. And in order to move to another sheet, you actually click on the sheet tab itself to actually move to that sheet. And I'll show you here. Let's go back to this worksheet, because this worksheet had multiple tabs at the bottom, and this is shows different tabs down here for different worksheets. If you click on a different tab, you get a different worksheet. Identify the sheets. It makes it easier to work with the workbook, to know exactly what you're looking at. So you can change the order of the sheets by dragging and dropping. You can change the color of the tabs through working with the bottom of the spreadsheet. Let's open this other workbook open. See, here's sheet 1 on this workbook that I created. It only has 1 sheet on. In order to create another sheet, you click on this X at the bottom, and that'll open up a new sheet. I'm trying to move this up a little bit so I can show you guys the very bottom. You click on that, open a new sheet, click on that again, makes a new sheet. Now if you want to rename the sheet, you double click, and then you can sales sheet. So the first one's sales sheet. You may want to change the color of the font, the tab color. You may want to make it blue. The next sheet might be, rename that one, and that one could be budget. That one you might want to make red. Let's make that tab red, and then this one you're going to rename it salespeople. So that one's going to be the salespeople. That's going to be your staff. So let's recolor that tab. Oh, let's make that one green. So you've got the 3 tabs, 3 different color tabs. You've got green, red, and blue. And if you look at the way that they're colored, when you click on that tab so that you can see which tab you're on, you can see the color does change. It's not as in-depth or as intense of a color. It kind of gets faded out. The active sheet's faded, the other 2 are stronger colored. So you can see the difference in the bottom down there, which worksheet you're on. And you can add as many worksheets as you want. You can change the order of the tabs. I was going to show you that. You can just drag and drop them and move them around as you need to. If you want budget as the first sales sheet, before sales sheet, you just drag it. Salespeople before sales, drag that there. Drag this one to the back. However you want to have them arranged, you can arrange them real easy in your workbook to adjust the way things come up in the workbook. And the nice thing about Excel is it gives you a workbook in which to keep your worksheets. So you can have a worksheet for each separate piece of a project, and then each worksheet can go in the full workbook for the whole project. It makes organizing your materials a lot easier. Okay, I showed you renaming. And to check spelling, checking spelling in a worksheet and in a workbook is pretty good. You need to check the spelling by each worksheet, by sheet, and then you need to run it on each sheet as you go. So you're basically going to go into a worksheet. Let's go into the only one we've got anything on, or the sales sheet. And since we don't have any text in here, it's going to be kind of hard to check the spelling to make sure the spelling's correct when you don't have words in here, but you'd actually go in and you'd check your spelling. Okay, now I was able to move the ribbon down. If you go to the review tab, you can actually go in and check the spelling in the worksheet. Tell it to check spelling from the beginning. Spelling's complete, you're good to go. There's really no words in here that need to have the word spelling checked on, because this is all a data-filled spreadsheet. But if, say I would have a word in here, let's spell receipt wrong. Let's put the I before the E, and let's leave that that way. Then let's go do spelling, and do we want to check from the beginning of the sheet? Yes. And it's telling you right there in this cell you have the wrong spelling, so it tells you how to correct it. You choose to check that and change it, and then it fixes it. It tells you spell check is complete, you're good to go. So this is the end of ExcelC. We've covered format values. We've talked about changing font and font sizes, font styles, and alignment. We've adjusted column widths. We've deleted and inserted rows and columns. We've applied colors, patterns, and borders to an Excel spreadsheet. We've applied conditional formatting. I've showed you how to rename and move worksheets and how to check spelling.